I'm looking through the Bible. I'm like, man, it's rams, it's lions, it's stuff like that. I said, but I wanted to mean something. So I wanted the kids know what they're part of. And I just came across the scripture, 2 Peter 1:19. And it said, like, and a day star shall rise in a dark place and shining. And I read through it and I got the understanding of it. It's like, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, when he comes back to find you, you'll have a glow about you because you're a day star and you're going to shine no matter where, no matter what you're going through, you're going to be a day star. And I was like, pow, like, right now I'm getting chills because when I think about that moment that he brought that to me and I captured that and what it's been since then, it was truly a divine intervention where he brought that in. And I was like, wow, day stars. So we started the day stars. I said, we're going to be the Columbus Day Star. And everybody like, what's the day star? What's a day star?
Hello, everyone. This is author Tim Brown of the book Uncommon Athletes, and I am blessed today to have with me Coach Mike Bell. As we get into this interview, I want to first remind people to make sure you subscribe and like the channel so that way I can continue to share these uplifting and encouraging videos. Coach Mike Bell is a young man who grew up in the same neighborhood that he's coaching at now, and a great story about how he came to be the head football coach at Columbus East High School. Great tradition there at East. And Coach Bell is kind of continuing on that tradition of not just producing great athletes, but great young men. And I believe growing up in the community has really been a blessing for him as he leads these young men. So Coach Bell, welcome to the show.
Man, thanks for having me, Coach. I appreciate bringing me in and appreciate the time to talk to you guys.
Yeah, this is going to be great. First thing, let's talk about how did you get involved in sports? I know back in our day, sports was a big thing. How did you get involved in sports in the community?
I started off playing for Mt.Vernon Tigers. I played football. That was the first sport I really got involved in. Little league football was right in our neighborhood. We could walk there. We had the coaches in the neighborhood got us involved, and I think maybe it was like six years old when I first started playing for the Mt.Vernon Tigers, East Side Tigers. We had a few names, but.
Right. Can you talk about some of those men coaches in the neighborhood and the impact that they had on your life?
There were some legends that really impacted my life. Frank Demi, Tootie Bates, Donnie Spiller, along with Earl Littlefield, Mr. Littlefield, Pete King. There were a lot of people, Coach West, that really made an impact on our lives, that got us involved and kept us busy and involved in sports in the community.
Now, you had an interesting high school experience. All you guys grew up in the Mt.Vernon area, playing together, and then all of a sudden integration hit, and you guys get bused across town, to play sports. So how did that impact you in both sports and academically? What was that like?
You know what? It was a change. It hit us hard because in our neighborhood we were all close, like from Mt.Vernon to Bolivar Arms, Trevitt Heights, all the way down to towards Pilgrim. We all played for Mt.Vernon Tigers, so it was one team in the neighborhood. I mean, we played for Mt.Vernon Tigers. We walked to East High School. We went to the games. We watched the parades in the tunnel. I mean, we all knew where we were playing high school ball. We were all going to East High School. And then, right around 8th grade or somewhere around 7th, 8th grade, they said, hey, we're going to split this community up. And then, it was a guy across the street from me, just because he lived on the other side of the street, went to East. Just because I lived on that side of the street, I have bust out to Centennial. I'm like, Centennial, where is Centennial? Who is Centennial? Why I gotta go to Centennial? I'm totally against it. My mom over there was like, I'm sorry, this is where you gotta go. I'm like, Mom, I want to go with my friends. We all going to East. And that was something I had looked for all my life, and I knew I was going to East. And to have that change, it was different because, but as far as the academics and the school piece, when I got to Centennial, it really kind of opened my eyes because all I knew was the neighborhood. When I grew up, Sawyer Wreck, Mt.Vernon, all of us running through the neighborhood, East High School. That's all we knew. And sometimes if that's all you know, that's all you know. That's what you've been raised on. And we were, when I got out to Centennial, it was like, wow, meeting people. It's like a melting pot. It's like people from everywhere, different cultures there. I got all types of people that I'm getting to meet. And it's really kind of opening up, and exposing me to some different things, academically, as well as learning how to deal with different people that were different from me and that were raised different from me. So, I was against it, but it ended up being a real good experience for me.
Yeah. And you excelled at Centennial as well, in both football and basketball, and ended up going to
it didn't start that way at Centennial. Okay. My first high school football game, I probably was like 5'8", 103, soaking wet. And I'm doing good in the scrimmages as a quarterback. Now in Little League, I was pretty, known quarterback. So, East was waiting on me, but Centennial didn't know who I was. So when I got up to Centennial, first game, we get in a couple scrimmages. I'm real little though, but I threw a couple touchdowns in the scrimmage. So I'm thinking, hey, it's the first varsity game, Grandview. I'm not getting in. I'm just a freshman. So I'm on the sideline and the coach the quarterback goes down, and I'm scared to death because they are really tearing him up. And these like 365-pound varsity boys. Right. And I'm standing there like, and I took my red pass off because I was like, I ain't playing tonight, Right. So I'm sitting there. He's like, Bill, you're in. I'm like, what? The boys is big. So I win the game. He called a play. I forgot the whole play. I came out trying to throw a pass play, and it was a run play, and nobody was out there to throw it to. And got cracked by this big defensive end named Chip Ryan. I'll never forget him. The rest of my life. Chip Ryan from Grandview, about 365 pounds, bounced on me, landed on me, and I'm a mama's boy, right? So I get up and then I pass back out. So everybody run over to me and I'm crying, I'm a freshman, I'm crying. I think I'm dying because I'm an asthmatic. I can't breathe. He didn't crush my ribs. So I look up to my team, my coach, I said, man, just tell my mama I love her. I said, just tell my mama I love her. Next thing I know, my mama hurling the fence, mama on the field, straight Mt.Vernon. She was out there, my baby. But yeah, she, it didn't start that way, but ended up having a pretty good career. We had the most wins at Centennial High School before I left with 5-5 as football team. Which ended up being real remarkable for me. After I had a good career there, I was able to come back and coach over at Centennial High School, and then we broke the record and won the City North over there. And then it was definitely a great experience and a great opportunity to go back to the school I graduated from. Wow. And help them bring their first championship. But it didn't start out pretty good. But I had a pretty good basketball career over there also, and it went pretty well.
Good. Your love for your community was evident in you starting the youth football program, the Day Stars. What was your reason for starting that program, and how did it impact the community?
I was in my community when I first graduated from college, and I got started in my business. First thing I wanted to do was give back. I felt like I have an obligation to reach back and grab young kids from where I came from, because I was blessed to be in the position that I was. I went to college, I graduated, played college, I started my own business. So I was sitting in church, and I wanted the name to mean something. I was sitting there, and I was supposed to be listening to the sermon. Pastor Troy, I was at Dusain, Pastor Troy he was preaching, and I was trying to think about my little league team, like how I'm gonna start, what we gonna be called. So I'm going through the Bible. I'm looking through the Bible. I'm like, man, it's Rams, it's Lions, it's stuff like that. I said, but I wanted to mean something. So I wanted the kids know what they're a part of. And I just came across the scripture, 2 Peter 1:19. And it said, like, and a day star shall rise in a dark place and shine it. And I read through it, and I got the understanding of it. It's like, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, when he comes back to find you, you'll have a glow about you because you're a day star. And you're going to shine no matter where, no matter what you're going through, you're going to be a day star. And I was like, pow, like, right now I'm getting chills because when I think about that moment that he brought that to me and I captured that and what it's been since then, it was truly a divine intervention where he brought that in. And I was like, wow, Daystar. So we started the Daystars. I said, we're going to be the Columbus Daystar.
So I know one of your trademarks or one of your words for the Daystar program, and anybody who's played the program knows about the word resilience. Where did that come in? What does that mean to you? I know you've gone through a lot in your life. What does that word resilience mean?
Wow, when I first started, I felt like, if we maximize our purpose and minimize conflict, if we know our mission statement, we know what our purpose is out here, then everybody will be focused on our mission and what we're trying to do. So when I got into developing resilience, I said, man, we're going to develop resilience in our youth. And what I meant by that, because I felt like all our kids, like for me, myself, I come from low income, I come from single family homes, I come from an environment that's overwhelmed with drugs and violence and poverty. But I felt like we were all making excuses of why we couldn't make it. And I felt like we needed to have the skill sets to make it regardless, because we don't have no control over some of those things. And some of those things are just, I might have been born to that. I didn't have no problem, but you can decide and say, okay, hey, I need to overcome this. How do I look at this? So I got into like 10 characteristics of being resilient. Resilience, I believe in resilience. It's funny because, I was preaching it. Then, and I had overcome some things in my younger life to get where I was. But then as an adult, I had to revisit it, like, wow, I got to overcome some other things, I lost my wife. I went through some financial issues where I was down. I still had to rebuild myself and be resilient and try to find a way to come up. So I believe in resilience. I believe in faith and my God and so forth. So, I think those things come together and it gives us the skill set to overcome anything that we're faced with. It's all about perception. And I think if we develop the perception of how I perceive things, like, I come out like, we look at a half cup or a half full cup. How do you look at things? How you look at your situation? And you got to have a positive outlook, and you got to always think that things can be better. And this is not the end. So, that's where resilience came from. And I preach it right now today with my football. I haven't changed on that.
That's good. Tragedy, we're in a time of a lot of gun violence and, amongst our youth, amongst our young, particularly amongst our young African-American young men. And tragedy hit your football team this season when one of your players was a victim of that gun violence. Can you talk about how your faith helped you minister to the team and to that player's family as well?
Well, he was an amazing young man, Righteous. And what I mean by that, he was in a place where he was transitioning and finding himself, like a lot of our young men are. Even if we've made some choices that were not in the best interest, we started to figure out, hey, this is my passion. And one of the things I took from that, it had to be my faith to guide these young men during this loss so young and letting them understand, the significance of losing someone that you care about and still continuing to live and continuing to move forward. And I think, my experience has been through some loss and living on this life so long, allowed me the experience to be able to guide these kids during that time.
So as an influential coach and community leader, mentor, what word of hope would you give encouragement to young men today?
I would tell them, first of all, just believe that you deserve to live and believe that your life is worth something, and understand that, you can make it through anything. You can overcome anything. You need to have some faith. You need to have some belief. You need to have some resilience. And I just feel like, with everything that's going around you, you have to find your passion, find what you love, and go after it with everything that you care about.
That's good. That's good.
Because it was full circle for me to be at East High School, and from coming from a kid from the neighborhood, and being a kid that can lead young men and being in a position to make a difference is awesome for me.
Wow, this has been a great interview, great time of reminiscing with you, going down that lane, and like you say, coming back full circle. Yeah. So what would you say? And I know you're still building this, but what would the legacy of Coach Mike Bell be?
Hopefully, if you've ever encountered my life and experienced, I've ever came into your life, that I've been a blessing to your life in some way. I've been able to bless you or add something positive to your life. Hopefully I've reached back and tried to guide young men, young ladies, whoever it may be, through our programs and outreach to reach all the goals and their dreams, if possible. But I think my legacy is still building, still building my legacy on how it's going to end, and just knowing that I was a God-fearing man who did his best to try to provide, vision for the youth and dreams, and letting them know the hard work pays off and so forth. So, I think the legacy, hopefully, I continue to be around a long time and coaching and impacting lives. So that's the plan.
Yeah, on behalf of all those young men and young ladies you impacted, I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for not forgetting where you came from, and you're a true young man who grew up in a certain neighborhood and came back to make a difference. And you are making a difference and continue to make a difference in the neighborhood. And so I want to commend you for that. And I want to just thank you. I know a lot of those young men who played football for you, today stars, and what you did, you created a lot of memories for them. I remember you taking guys down to Florida, those national tournament trips, and have little or no resources, where the resource was coming out of your pocket, but it was but it was just a blessing to those young men. And then I want to commend you for being a family man. I watched how you are raising your children, with your wife passing, how you just stepped up as a man, and I'm proud of you for that. I'm proud of you for that, and those things that you've done for your family. So, Mike, Coach Bell, I want to thank you for this time, and I really appreciate you jumping on the show today.
Hey, man, Mr. Brown, first off, thank you, man, for the opportunity to speak with you, man. I look up to you, and we have our talks, our weekly talks, our daily talks. Sometimes, I look forward to your inspirational texts in the morning. Just to give me some guidance and prepare me to continue to move forward on days when I'm tired and worn out. Your words continue to lift me up. So continue to be a blessing to us. Thank you for all you've been in my life, and really appreciate you. And I got to keep you involved with if you guys don't have him with your program, make sure you have him come talk to your team. Make sure he get involved with your kids, because he comes out and speaks to our kids. And the words he give our young men, it's just unbelievable, and they continue to take it. So get the book, Uncommon Athletes. It's powerful. If you haven't picked it up and read it, it's a great read. I continue to read it because as I'm coaching, as a coach, I continue to learn more things, how to deal with different situations. So if you can, get that book and support Mr. Brown.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. And for those that are watching, remember to like and subscribe to the channel so you can continue to receive these interviews. So thanks again, Coach Bell, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
All right.